तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. हे कृष्ण करुण. हेलो या अच्छा 1 second. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Hare Krishna. So I welcome each and every devotee to today's class. Am I audible now? Is it okay? Hello Mataji. Okay. So today's topic is 6.5.14, that is 6th canto, 5th chapter, 14th verse. First I would like to read the shloka translation, then we'll get into the class. 6.5.14 Nana rupatmano buddhihi swarairniva gunanvita tannistam agatseya kim asad karma bhirbhavet. So is anyone interested to repeat the shloka? Hare Krishna Mataji. Acha, is it? Now is it okay? Now is it okay? Is it still less? No, it's okay. Yeah, 1 second. So is anyone interested to read the shloka, or you want me to continue? Okay, so I will read it again. Nana rupatmano buddhihi swarairniva gunanvita tannistan agatseya kimasat karma bhirbhavet. So here 1 second. Okay, so the translation goes like this. Narada Muni had described a woman who is professional prostitute. The Haryavasvas understood the identity of this woman. Mixed with mode of passion, the unsteady intelligence of every living entity is like a prostitute who changes dresses just to attract one's attention. If one fully engages in temporary fruitive activities, not understanding how this is taking place, what does he actually gain? All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Purport. A woman who has no husband declares herself independent, which means that she becomes prostitute. A prostitute generally dresses herself in various fashions intended to attract a man's attention to the lower part of her body. Today, it has become much advertised fashion for a woman to go almost naked, covering the lower part of her body only slightly in order to draw the attention of a man to her private parts of sexual enjoyment. The intelligence engaged to attract a man to the lower part of the body is the intelligence of a professional prostitute. Similarly, the intelligence of a living entity who does not turn his attention toward Krishna or the Krishna consciousness movement simply changes dresses like a prostitute. What is the benefit of such foolish intelligence? One should be intelligently conscious in such a way that he need no longer change from one body to another. Karmis change their professions at any moment, but a Krishna conscious person does not change his profession, for his only profession is to attract the attention of Krishna by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and living a very simple life without following daily changes of fashion. In our Krishna consciousness movement, fashionable persons are taught to adopt one fashion, the dress of a Vaishnava with a shaved head and tilaka. They are taught to be always clean in mind, dress, and eating in order to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. What is the use of changing one's dress, sometimes wearing long hair and a long beard, and sometimes dressing otherwise? This is not good. One should not waste his time in such frivolous activities. One should always be fixed in Krishna consciousness and take the cure of devotional service with firm determination. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, in this class, mostly I like to cover few important topics. Mainly like what is actually the role of a woman and what is the role of different fashions in our ISKCON society, as well as what will be the simple living, what is simple living and what is complicated living. So if one knows these things, then he can easily advance in Krishna consciousness. So firstly, going to what is role of a woman with respect to this shloka. So here actually there are two things. First we have to understand the basic things. First there are two things. One is mind, other thing is intelligence. And there's also the third thing called as senses. So the senses, when come into the control of mind, and when the mind is in the control of intelligence, then generally things go well, provided the intelligence is good or spiritual. So generally a good intelligence will control the mind in a good way, and a good mind will give the guidance, controls the senses in a good way. So the unnecessary pulling off of the mind will decrease. For example, when a person who has many senses, if one of the senses is pulled off by the sense objects, then mind also gets pulled off by the senses. And similarly, even intelligence gets pulled off by the mind. So now in this context, the woman is compared with intelligence with many forms. Vishwanath Thakur says that generally people who are absorbed in the material objects have many qualities of learning. Like for example, say if a person is attracted in hearing, if his ears is one of the sense, and if a person is attracted to hearing, then what happens that he'll try to become a vocalist, he'll try to become a singer, he'll try to be a good communicator. So it means the quality of learning something is coming from the sense, a particular sense. So any living entity learns anything in his life only by senses. So especially ears are most important because that will help us in giving protection even when we are in the sleep. So he also says that what is the use of insubstantial karmas performed by person who does not discern the good and bad tendencies of the intelligence. So it means Vishwanath Thakur wanted to say is that the karmas are actually insubstantial. Insubstantial means which are not substantial, which also means that you can't rely on the karma, because there are many people who are doing good karma but end up in bad results, and there are many people in Kali Yuga, you see that they do many bad karma but they end up in good result. So how this is happening? Because the karma is very complicated. Like for example, if there is a person whose health is always getting affected, it means that in one of the previous lives he must have done some problem to some people, especially in terms of health. Like for example, if there is an Ayurvedic doctor who does not take care of the health of a patient, he is very commercialized way of approach. If that is his mission, then what happens? The health of the patient is compromised, and it may also get damaged. So in that case, the karma which is going to get from that, he has to suffer in the next life. So next life, even if this doctor will take birth in a rich family, even then his health is always at stake. He always has some or the other issues of his health, because the karma which he has done already in the past is affecting in the present. Because Srila Prabhupada also says that the karma which we are experiencing right now is not of this present life, but of the previous life. Now when I say previous life, there are n number of previous lives. So why I am saying all these things? Because when a soul gives up the body, then along with Atma, three things will come along with the Atma, the soul. That mind, intelligence and false ego. So among these three, intelligence is actually a guiding, a torchlight, a torch bearer. So that intelligence is compared in this verse with woman. So woman represents intelligence with many forms, absorbed in material objects, endowed with many qualities like learning. Like say for example, if you take an example of a woman actually, the intelligence of a woman is actually to attract the attention of a man. Why? Because the woman thinks that by attracting the attention of a man, and because of which the man will actually enjoy her, and because of man enjoying her, the woman is getting enjoyed. So because of that, she thinks that she will be happy. So this is the main mission, or this is the main criteria of she wearing small clothes. Especially a woman generally wants to expose her body from the lower part of the body, so that the man actually attracts. So woman actually attracts the man for sexual enjoyment. So when this happens, even then the resultant factor is that she gets frustrated, because actually our constitutional position is to serve the Krishna. So it means our mind, our intelligence, our false ego must be engaged in the service of Krishna, so that what happens that a woman also will try to engage in the service of the Krishna. Say for example, there are different degrees of types of dresses, the different types of professions, the different types of activities, the different types of businesses, the different types of approaches of business. So all these actually reflects the misuse of one's own intelligence. Because when a person wants to misuse the intelligence, only then he'll try to think a different way. Like for example, I want to look in this way, I want to look in that way. Then even if you go to a hair salon shop, he'll put a photograph, he has a big banner kind of a photograph where it shows the different kinds of haircuts. So why is he keeping that? Because even if I don't have desire to get my hair to cut in that particular fashion, even then by seeing that image of the photo in that photograph, I want to do that. So these things are actually giving me towards sense gratification, that too blindly. See, in the Vedas it is said there are two ways, Nivritti Marga and Pravritti Marga. You may say that Pravritti Marga is an enjoyment marga, the path of enjoyment, but that path of enjoyment has some rules and regulations. So that rules and regulations are restrictions, but in the material world there are no restrictions. Only if, for example, in India, the Supreme Court has given a rule or a relaxation that any woman or man, if they are married, and if the woman is not satisfied with the man, and if the man approaches the wife to enjoy her, especially in terms of sex, if he wants to do sex with her, then if the wife keeps a complaint files a complaint that the husband is wanted to enjoy me without my permission, he has to get in behind the bars. So what kind of rule is this? And another kind of rule is that a woman who is already married or a man who is already married, he can have an illegal relationship with any man and woman in this world. It is legal. They have legalized this process. Before it was illegal, now it is legalized. Why it is happening like that? The reason behind this is that the judges of the Supreme Court also are of this category. They also wanted to enjoy. If they want to enjoy, they need such an atmosphere. So they have legalized the illegal activity. So different kinds of fashions which we are seeing right now are actually the misuse of intelligence. So misuse of intelligence is using our intelligence for our own sense gratification. Then what is right utilization of our intelligence? So Srila Prabhupada already says in the purport in Srimad Bhagvatam that the right use of intelligence is engaging one's own senses and intelligence and mind in the service of Krishna. Because generally the Buddhist philosophy says that you have to stop this sense activity, you have to stop intelligence, you have to stop senses, you have to stop attraction. So that is not practical in this material world, especially in Kali Yuga. So instead of wasting our time in stopping these things, we have to replace the word stop with engage. So engaging our senses are a higher platform than stopping our senses. Engaging our intelligence in the service of Krishna is of higher principle when compared to the stopping of the intelligence. So it means that generally there are various courses in ISKCON where it says LBG, Learning Bhagavad Gita. It's a short acronym for LBG, like Learning Bhagavad Gita. But actually, when a person is fully focused on one's own learning, one's own beauty and one's own grace, learning, beauty and grace. So these three things will actually deviate our intelligence to not to engage in the service of Krishna but engage in the service of one's own senses, which is actually means the misutilization of our own intelligence. So if one is using intelligence, using one's own learning, using one's own beauty, using one's own grace in serving Krishna, then it is right proper use of utilization, or else it is a vain, it's vain. And it's also, one should understand that there's a word in the shloka called Svarini. Nana Rupat Mano Buddhi Swarai Niva. So Svarini means absorbed in the material pleasures. Just like I was telling, a woman who wants to attract the attention of a man is like a prostitute. Similarly, the intelligence whose only purpose is to engage in the material pleasure, who wants to derive the material pleasure, then it is also prostitute. So if one's intelligence has become prostitute, then that prostitute can never be happy. A prostitute is always unhappy. She's always frustrated. She's always depressed. In pursuit of more want of happiness, she's actually putting more efforts, but the result is she's getting more frustrated. Similarly, though we are so much developed in our material advancement, still we are unhappy, still we are frustrated. For example, there are many celebrities who hang themselves. They have name, they have fame, they have strength, they have beauty, they have money, they have everything. Then why are they dying? Because they are frustrated. Then the reason behind the frustration is they're engaging their intelligence in a wrong way. But let us understand why a person is forced to engage one's intelligence in a wrong way. That especially in the sense gratification. Because the mind is demanding. Why mind is demanding? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says mind is actually one's own friend as well as enemy. So if we make the mind our friend, then mind also gets controlled under the intelligence. But if the mind is not controlled, then it will never listen to the intelligence. The mind also demands the intelligence. I want ice cream right now. Now that is the dead of the night, 12 o'clock. Now what should I do? I need it. The mind says that. Mind directs it. Then mind says, I don't know what you are going to do to intelligence. It says to intelligence that I don't know what you are going to do. I need ice cream right now. Then intelligence is now putting his own intelligence to bring the ice cream at the dead of the night. So it gives an idea to the mind. Why not Blinkit? Why not use Amazon? Why not use some other social platform, online delivery? Then the mind becomes happy. So mind orders the senses to order. Then immediately that person will catch hold of a mobile, gets into the Amazon, types the username, password, then he will start ordering it. And when the order comes, the ice cream comes, now senses will enjoy it. Tongue, the stomach, the body. Though who is saying that? Mind is saying, now come on, you eat, enjoy it. Then when the mind is enjoying, then intelligence says, now next. Now I want to eat something else. And the demands of the mind goes unlimitedly. It has no end to it. So the reason behind all this, the senses, the mind, the intelligence, the main cause is purification. If the mind is impure, it forces if the senses are impure, it forces mind to become impure. If the mind is impure, it forces intelligence to become impure. If the intelligence is impure, it forces ego to remain in the false ego, because false ego itself is impure state. And when the mind, senses, mind, intelligence, false ego are in the impure state, then definitely he will make a wrong choice every time. So when the choices are wrong, then the results are also wrong. Then habits are also wrong. Then at last character is also wrong. At the end of the day, one cannot be a gentle human being. He cannot be gentle. So he will become weak. Weak people are generally cruel. Good people are generally not cruel, because good people are strong. Even in the mode of goodness. Forget about mode of pure goodness. Even if you are in the mode of goodness, you are very strong. Then you cannot be cruel. If you are not cruel, the relationship between the devotees or the relationship between non-devotees, relationship with animals, relationship with the plants, trees are good. If the relationship is good, then he will become Sarva Priya. Then when he is Sarva Priya, then Krishna also becomes Priya. If Krishna is Priya to that devotee, then devotee is also Priya to that Krishna. So this way, what happens when a person is pure in eating, sleeping, mating and defending, then naturally the purification of that particular person increases multifold. So the main cause of we being impure is being impure in eating, sleeping, mating and defending. So these four things when you do in a pure way, then your thoughts are also pure. Then what actually happens? That when you do these things, why do we get pure thoughts? The reason behind it is, say for example, the same material energy becomes an illusory energy for a conditioned soul, whereas the same material energy, which is also called as material nature, is acting as Yogamaya energy, which is going. See, there are two types of energies, Mahamaya and Yogamaya. So both are actually one energy from the perspective of Krishna. But from the perspective of the soul, if the soul is conditioned, the same energy becomes Mahamaya, which is taking away. When that soul is under the control of Mahamaya, he goes away from the Krishna. He takes decisions away from Krishna. He thinks he will be happy by going away from Krishna. But the same soul, if he is liberated, then Yogamaya energy will act on it, will influence upon him. It means that the liberated soul gets influenced by the Yogamaya energy. So when the Yogamaya energy is influencing that liberated soul, what actually happens is that now that Yogamaya energy will take me near to Krishna, and that liberated soul becomes happy going towards Krishna. You may see that there are many devotees who are doing services to Krishna from since many years, but still they are unhappy, they are frustrated, they are comparing, they are becoming good critic, their fault finding is increasing because there are more contact with the devotees, they see only negative, the fault finding increases. All these things are happening because that particular devotee is not pure in eating, sleeping, mating and defending. So what is the result? The result of not being pure in eating, sleeping, mating and defending is that you start misutilizing the intelligence. And the moment one starts misutilizing one's own intelligence, he will forget about satisfying Krishna, but he will start thinking how to satisfy one's own senses in various ways. Like there are many fashions, even among the in the ISKCON temple with the devotees, there are various fashions, especially like when you say the tilak, there are different sampradayas wear tilak in different way. Though in the ISKCON they don't want to fall in a particular way, because then there is he is not odd one, he is not special, so he wants to become special among all the devotees. So his tilaka will be very long or very short, so that people will notice and will talk about it. This is how the deviation goes. So wearing the tilaka in a different way. And secondly, I'll give another example. Then wearing a shika. The shika, instead of the back side of the head, they'll put from the middle of the head, it is hanging and there will be knot at the end. So then it's a different look altogether. So I want to look in that way. I want to show myself in that way with that particular devotee. So the purpose is not satisfying Krishna, the purpose is me being center. Krishna is not at the center. And there are devotees among the Prabhujas, they wear much attractive bordered dhoti or colorful t-shirts, so that all the people's attention will be attracted, and people will talk about that rather than they talk about Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela. So this is another kind of misutilization of one's own intelligence. So he is using all his intelligence to attract the people towards oneself, not towards Guru and Gauranga or Krishna. So that is his misutilization. And even among Matajis, what happens? That a particular Mataji will wear a particular kind of sari which is very attractive. Like some saris have some mirror kind of things, chamkila you call in Hindi. So that attracts other Matajis. Then they will talk, where did you buy this? Another Mataji will speak to this Mataji, where did you buy this? Which area? How to go? What the transport? And how costly it is, or how less costly it is. This is all happening during the Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class. So this is one's misutilization. And then a classic example of misutilization of one's own intelligence is tattoos. So there are different devotees, senior devotees wearing different kinds of tattoos. But Srila Prabhupada is saying it's not required. And another example, there are some brahmacharis who wear very big tulsi kantimala. They're very big. So people see the tulsi kantimala than devotee. They don't see the Vaishnava qualities. They see the size of the kantimala. They think, the ordinary people think that the size of the kantimala is actually reflecting the seniority of the devotee. If the kantimala is big, the tulsi beads in the kantimala is bigger in size, then he must be the most senior devotee. Or if the tattoo size is big, then it means that he is senior devotee. So this is all misconceptions. So one should be very careful, even among the devotees, when we practice something. That is the reason if a devotee is not under the control of one senior devotee, if he is not following the instructions of one senior devotee who is called as counselor, I should be a counselor of one counselor. I should be able to confide my heart to that particular devotee. He should be advanced than me in consciousness and in learning and in Vaishnava etiquette even. So that when I confide my heart to that devotee, he does not, he doesn't spread it all over the place. in the ISKCON or outside, so that it hampers my advancement in my Krishna consciousness. So now what actually the different kinds of fashions which we are seeing in this material world is actually misutilization of one's own intelligence. That's what I want to tell in this verse. And what Srila Prabhupada is saying, for Vaishnava there is only one fashion: shaved head, tilaka as per the acharyas, and the shika, and simple dhoti kurta or simple sari, which has not much attraction. So this is the only fashion which a devotee has to follow, which is very much effective. Then if the devotee is simple, then you will see what his Vaishnava quality is, how a Vaishnava is speaking to another Vaishnava, how is he behaving, how is he sitting, how is he standing, how is he dealing the problem. So now the other devotees are forced to think these things, because now there's nothing much hype of the dress or the fashions or the tattoos or the tilaka or any kind of talk. These things are not there in the devotee. Then the devotees will actually focus on the devotional activities. Then we see how this devotee is actually serving Krishna. Then even I want to serve Krishna. So such kind of atmosphere is prevailed when a Vaishnava is simple. As Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's famous quote, Saralata hi Vaishnavata. The simplicity is actually Vaishnavata. So it's very much important criteria for a Vaishnava to understand that being simple, not always externally but also internally, is one of the criteria for advancement in Krishna consciousness. Say for example, if a devotee's mind is very complicated, a prakruta bhakta, a materialistic devotee, if his mind is very complicated, though he appears very simple externally, he is very complicated internally. So one should be simple not only in the externally but also internally. So only when a person or a devotee is simple internally, only then Krishna's instructions from the Paramatma who is situated in one's own heart can be heard, or we overheard him. That is the reason when we are complicated, we can't understand even from the physically present Guru. Even if he says some things, we deride his instruction. We can't even understand. Forget about absorbing it and contemplating and following it. We can't even understand. We are not even ready to listen. So most of the devotees don't want to go to their own spiritual master because they don't want to be corrected. There's one famous story that there's a sculpturist who is sculpturing a stone from which he wants to make a Krishna. Krishna is a deity out of it. So an ordinary person came to him, a layman came to him and was asking him that, what actually you thought when you saw a stone before you carving it on? Then the sculpturist said that I actually saw Krishna in it. How come it's possible? Because stone I can't see. No one can see Krishna in uncarved stone. Then how could you see it? Because he said, the sculpturist said, the person who wants to carve, his consciousness is so high. He said that, see, actually there is a Krishna deity in the stone, uncarved stone. But if I remove the unnecessary stone, the remaining stone is Krishna. So similarly, if there is everyone is a Vaishnava. Only thing is that one has to cut the unnecessary part which is present in a Vaishnava, and that work is done by Guru. Say for example, a devotee is wearing a white dhoti, and unfortunately or accidentally sambar or chutney has fell over the dhoti. So there's a mark. So immediately he came to the house, he gave to the wife. She instead of brushing that area, she has put that dhoti and kurta in a washing machine. So after 30 minutes of the wash in the washing machine, the result is that the mark has gone down, but mark is still visible. But generally what happens in India, In India, what happens that a wife, when she sees such a dhoti, she first scolds the husband. Why are you doing like this? Why didn't you take care of the dhoti? Then immediately she takes the dhoti, she soaks in the water and puts some surf, and after 30 minutes she takes off the dhoti from the bucket of water which is filled with soap or surf. Then she takes the brush and she goes on rubbing that particular area where the sambar or chutney has fell over the dhoti. Then she puts all his pressure, she puts all her effort on cleaning it. Then on top of it, she'll put that same dhoti in the washing machine. Then after 30 minutes of the wash, there is no mark. There is no visibility, zero visibility. Why did it happen like that? Because she has put her effort by using a brush at that particular place where there is sambar's mark on the dhoti. Similarly, if she is a blind, then she cannot do that, right? Similarly, this mark of the sambar or chutney, whatever you say, which is called as anartha in our Sanskrit. Anartha means the artha which is not required, that anything which is not required, especially for the advancement of the bhakti. I may not see in my own self, but Guru can see that. The instruction is like a brush with a soap. Here, when I follow that instruction of Guru, then the anartha washes away. Because one's own Guru is actually, they know exactly where is the problem and what kind of service has to be given. But if the disciple follows that particular kind of service, then definitely the anartha goes away. One, he has to follow the instruction with faith. Secondly, he should do it for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Then definitely that is possible. So that is right utilization of one's own intelligence. So whether you are learning, whether you are learning from Shastra, whether you are learning from your materialistic subject books, the purpose is to satisfy the Guru. Generally, it is said that there are some disciples who chant an extra round for the betterment of the Guru or for dedicating that one mala to Guru. Why so? Because 16 good rounds which is ordered by the Guru is, you're doing it as an instruction for ourselves. But anything extra, more than 16 is actually, you're doing it for Guru. So for that also we need permission from the Guru. It's not that I can start any number of rounds whenever I wanted. That is not a right way of approach. It's better to ask one's own Guru and confirm that I want to do like that, should I do that? Then definitely Guru will let us know whether we are in that position or not. So so one should understand that whatever activity or karma I am doing, is it actually helping us in advancing in Krishna consciousness? Is it detrimental to my Krishna consciousness, or is it actually advancement for my devotional service? If one questions this every time before we start anything, that will actually advance us in Krishna consciousness rather than be stuck wherever we are. So this is it means that one should always place one's own intelligence in Krishna, in serving Krishna, in pleasing Krishna. Then that will make us not prostitute. That will make us woman who is under the control of husband. A woman should be under control of husband should be under the control of Guru should be under the control of Krishna. His own Guru, ultimately under the control of Krishna. Sense objects must be under the control of sense must be under the control of mind should be under the control of intelligence must be under the control of Atma, soul, and this Atma should be under the control of Paramatma, who is Krishna again. So these two things should go parallelly, then things will be soft. Thank you very much. You can ask me any questions if there are any. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. I'm sorry, I'm unable to hear you, Mataji. It's not audible. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mataji. Still, it's not clearly audible. Or else you can message also if there is. Now it's clear, I guess. Yeah, now it's better. Yeah. Okay. Yes, yes. Yes. Okay. Correct. Yes. Especially in India. Okay, I understood. Actually, what I understood from your explanation that government may not be fully wrong. It could be right also in this case that it is helping us to a frustrating wife or a frustrating husband will get divorced early, or they can have a relationship with other men and women. Is to some part is correct. That is what your reflection is. Am I right, Mataji? Uh, Favor of that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Correct. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Okay, I got it. So actually, yeah, I got it, Mat. Actually, yeah, go on. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Mataji, there are some important points to understand in this light. First thing is that this is Dukhalay. Whether you are married, unmarried, bachelor, spinster, spinster is generally unmarried woman. Okay, so divorcee or even separated, all have to. The end result of everyone is dukkha, and the cause of the dukkha is misutilization of one's own intelligence. That is first one level of answer. So second level of answer is, even before getting married, a boy and girl must be so clear. A boy should tell to the girl that, see, I can do this. I want you to be this. And in exchange of that, I will do this. Not more, not less. If you are okay with this, then we'll go ahead. If this kind of clarity is there, then there will be no divorce. There will be no frustration. So, but people are lying before getting married, and they are showing their original rupa or their original, what you say, the originality of their character after marriage or after few years of marriage. That is not so good. Say, for example, I'll tell you one thing. A boy and a girl are meeting. Common point, both need sex. Both are unable to control sex. One. And what boy needs? A boy needs from the girl that he wants. Sex is already there, but he wants facilities like food, cooking, washing of clothes, taking care of the house. In exchange of that, boy is ready to give love, attention, and care to the wife. And if he says, if he says that I want this, but I am not good at loving, I am not good at taking care of you, then the girl has to decide whether to go ahead or not with the marriage. So, prevention is better than cure. That is second level of answer. Third level of answer. Third level of answer is this, that, say for example, I caused a trouble, like I am a man in this life, maybe I am a woman in the previous life, I have tortured my husband so much. And the same woman or the same man, or he may not be same, but that man has become my wife, and I am the woman, I became a man now. Now my wife will torture me. Even if I divorce, if my karma is very strong, divorce itself will not happen. One. Two, even if I get divorced, what will I want to enjoy. I'm ordinary person. Then if I'm ordinary person, I have to get married. Then again the problem continues because the karma is not going by changing the person. Right? Suppose I am old, 50 years old. I go to America, I'm same 50 years old. I go to Australia, I'm same 50 years old. I'm in India, I'm same 50 years old. That cannot be changed. If the karma is fixed, I have to suffer. Few people will suffer by taking divorce. Some people will suffer by not taking the divorce. The point is not about taking and not taking divorce. The point is taking the shelter of Krishna or not taking the shelter of Krishna. That is the root cause. An intelligent person will catch hold of the root cause of it. For example, if there is a rash, continuous rash on the skin, we generally apply cream on the skin. But the Ayurveda says, that is allopathy. But the Ayurveda says the root cause of the skin rash is there is a problem with liver. So he gives medicine for liver, then skin rashes automatically vanishes. So this is third level of answer, that karma. That is one thing. That is third. So that is the karma. Fourth level of answer, relationship issues. If I have a relationship issue with my own wife, with my own children, with the devotees whom I am going to center in the temple, then I am pretty sure that I will have a relationship issue with even Krishna. Even after going to Golok Dham. In first place, I will not go to Golok Dham because of this issue. But I am telling an imaginary situation. Even if I go to Golok Dham, I will have a relationship issue. So what should I do then? First I need to resolve why this is happening. I have to put my intelligence. If my karma is not good, but a Vaishnava's interference in anyone's life will change the karma. Because Vaishnava's mercy is so high that Srila Prabhupada has changed hippies into happies. Right? So, when hippies can become happies by the mercy of Vaishnava like Srila Prabhupada, why will I not become happy? You understand? So I have to put an effort to know what is the issue. So that will, if my wife is fighting with me daily, and if I get to know this is the cause, these are my mistakes, then if I am correcting it, don't you think the fights will decrease to some extent? And if I am trying, if not 100%, think I have done only 10% of the correction, not 90%. Still 90% I am doing mistakes. But God helps who helps themselves. If I am helping myself so much, then God will interfere and will give me intelligence. Then that way, my dependence on Lord is actually increasing. So the whole point is that I am trying to resolve the problem. That is fourth level of answer. And the last and the highest level of answer, fifth level of answer is this. A devotee, even if he is not a devotee, an intelligent person, like a CEO of a Google, Sundar Pichai, he'll think, what is the root cause of all this is happening? Why I am facing this problem again and again? He will think, he will deliberate on this. Then he will make a list. Then he will think with a neutral mind, that without attachment, neutral mind means that actually wife is the daughter of Krishna. Husband is supposed to think like this. And wife is supposed to think, actually my husband is the son of Krishna. That is a consciousness one. At least an initiated devotee must possess. Then if this consciousness is there, then still the problem is there. Then he'll start deliberating, actually this is mercy of the Lord for getting detached. Maybe I'm having some kind of attachment, of material attachment. Maybe Krishna is so possessive, he wants me to put my attention towards Krishna more than on problems. Then definitely, say if the wife is fighting with the husband and the very reason of the fight is Krishna consciousness, say, then he'll think, if I'm doing Krishna consciousness, he's becoming troubled. Then maybe my my behavior towards my wife is somewhere I'm doing a mistake. And Krishna wants me to correct it because he wants me to set a good example in the society. Maybe I have to do some changes in this. And this is definitely mercy of Lord. So one who is thinking this is the mercy of the Lord, genuinely, not virtually, genuinely, factually, actually, if he thinks that is the mercy of the Lord, then definitely he will not complain, he will not criticize, he will not fight, definitely he will not divorce. He will think that this is the service. So this is what I could understand, Mataji. Yes, Mataji, I can hear you. Correct. Yes, correct. Yeah, I did not talk. Please go ahead. Correct. Correct. Yes, yes, yes. And one more thing is that, and one more thing, sorry to interrupt, protection is a byproduct. But the main thing why a wife should be under the control of husband is that Krishna wants it that way. Krishna becomes happy if a woman is under the control of husband, even if he is a drunkard, even if he is wrong. Why? Because by seeing, because a woman at the time of death, she can remember her husband if she is serving genuinely. At least in the next life, she will become that she will become a man in the next life, so that she can continue her Krishna consciousness more efficiently, uninterruptedly. Yeah, yeah, please go on. Yeah, see, that's true. See, like one who is remembering Krishna, they are Vaishnavis. And talking about women of material world who have no knowledge about Krishna consciousness at all. For them, this is a boon. You got it. Like for example, 10th class is highest one compared to 8th class. 8th class. But for 8th class student to get into 10th class, first he has to pass through the 9th class also, right? You have to transcend. So like for example, even if a devotee Mataji, if she is Vaishnavi, she is thinking she is Vaishnavi, but she is not Vaishnavi. She does not have those qualities. Then if she is fighting for independence and all that thing, then again the same thing, the same problem. See, once Prabhupada was asked why you are more focused on vegetarian food, then Srila Prabhupada said it on face. I am not focused on vegetarian or being non-vegetarian. If Krishna comes to me and says I have to eat non-veg, I am verily ready to eat non-veg. Even elephant is vegetarian, even monkey is vegetarian. What great is there if I become vegetarian? That is not, I have to become Krishnatarian. That's what Srila Prabhupada said. So now, yeah, please go on, please go on. Yeah, Hmm. Hmm. Yes. And actually what happens is that actually what happens, all these things come only when I separate my family different from Krishna's family. The very start of my problem is that. So if I think my family members are actually Krishna's family members, I have to taking care of them is actually entrusted by Krishna to me. I am a temporary owner, he is the original owner. If I think like that, then I cannot misutilize my family members. Now the change will be internal, not external. I want to change everyone, but I don't want to change myself. This kind of attitude, like I'll give an example. A situation where there's a tap, water is running continuously, and there's a bucket exactly under the tap, but the bucket is not filling. What could be the reason? And there's nothing between the tap and the bucket. You understood the scenario, Mataji? If you have understood, there's nothing in the middle of the yeah. The scenario goes like this. There's a tap, you understand, right? The bucket from where the water comes, tap, and there's a bucket exactly under the tap, and there's nothing obstructing the flow of water from tap to the bucket, but the bucket is not getting water, or it's not getting filled. What could be the reason? No? Yeah, good. There's no hole. No? Anyone wants to try? Or do you want me to tell? Any tries? Okay. I'll answer this. Actually, tap is in the right position, bucket is in the right position, there is no obstruction, but the bucket is placed in opposite way, upside down. The upside down of the bucket is compared to the attitude of a devotee. ISKCON is there, Bhagavad Gita book is there, situations are quite favorable, but still I'm following rules and regulations, still I'm not able to get the ruchi in Krishna consciousness. I'm not advancing because my attitude is not right. It's upside down. That is the answer. So what should be the attitude of a Vaishnava? As Sanatana Goswami says, the ornament of a devotee is actually his own etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette or Vaishnava Sadachara. If that is proper, everything will flow in a right way. You will understand that, then your attitude becomes perfect. For example, if you are entering into the temple, you should always say Vanchakalpatarupyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah. That anyone can by heart and say it. But what is the attitude? What is the consciousness behind this mantra should be that I am a Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi and remaining everyone are Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. If this is the attitude, mercy flows. Not only flows, you will understand mercy. Not only you will understand, you will hold the mercy. Not only hold, you will apply mercy. Not only apply mercy, you will also get the taste of Krishna consciousness. This is the answer. Close. Yeah, close. ये बंद करोगे फोन